We typically don't do movie reviews here at the Yakovich Brothers as they're totally subjective and a waste of time. For example, I like movies that get straight into the action and don't waste time building character profiles and background stories, whereas the missus doesn't like porn at all. But we both like murder mysteries and Daniel Craig, so when we spotted The Glass Onion on Netflix, it was a laydown misère. Unfortunately, as the movie progressed, the missus dozed off and I was noticing plot holes so large that the late great John Holmes would have struggled to fill. They were that bad, they had to have been written in, so I cringed through Daniel Craig's foghorn leghorn impersonation waiting for the building twist. But it never came. I, like pretty much everyone else, had missed it. It just looked like a stupid movie. OK, Helen was Andy's twin sister and blah blah blah, but this didn't explain the steaming piles of Swiss cheese which infested the rest of the story. Obviously confused, I looked at the internet for answers and was stunned to see the super positive reviews which made just as much sense as the movie, especially the correlations drawn between Miles Bron and Elon Musk. The screenplay and production would have been well and truly completed before Elon became the left's new Hitler. So, drawing on all perspectives, I watched the film again, and that's when I finally spotted the twist we all missed. The Glass Onion successfully masquerades as a woke movie while totally taking the piss out of the woke movement. Being distracted by pop culture Easter eggs and gaping holes in the plot, we somehow miss not only the racial stereotyping, but the wise old boomers perplexed and frustrated by the stupidity of society today. And none more than Benoit Blanc, whose name literally translates to blessed white. Blanc must have initially suspected that he was up against it when Helen presented him with a smashed up puzzle box, which this educated schoolteacher was apparently not educated enough to solve. Obviously an open dig at the lack of problem-solving abilities being taught today. In fact, none of the puzzle boxes could have been opened without the wisdom of age. This has to be an open dig at the OK Boomer mindset. The movie goes on to be a cynical parody of today's lack of attention by Miles murdering Duke in plain sight by simply saying, "Hey everybody, look over there." Or, let's not use our mobile phones to call the police, let's radio the ship to call them instead for some reason. Or the police somehow can't land their boats on the vast expanse of flat waveless beach directly out the front of the house as the wharf is set to low tide. Or it doesn't matter if a notebook could or couldn't stop a bullet, as it missed the pocket it was carried in anyway. But the coup de grace comes when Blanc hands Helen the volatile hydrogen crystal, then quickly retreats to the safety of the beach. And you have to ask, why? And the only possible explanation is that he's had a gutful of the lot of them and correctly predicts that Helen would do something incredibly stupid and dangerous with it. After Helen goes on an irrational Black Lives Matter-like rampage, she duly meets Blanc's expectations by throwing the crystal into the fire. As the house erupts into a fireball, we pan back to Blanc, sitting back laughing, showing no concern for the welfare of Helen or anyone else in the building, further enforcing the twist we all missed.